Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, E-Coffee with Experts. This is Ranmay here, your host for today's episode. And today we have Elyse, who is the founder and CEO of Elysium Marketing Group. Welcome, Elyse.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Great. Elyse, before we move any forward and talk more about digital marketing, why don't you help us understand more about your journey and how your agency was formed, what you guys offer, and how you guys different from all the agencies out there?
Sure. So I've had the agency for 9 years now. We are full service. So we have an entire creative arm and we have an entire strategic arm. One of the ways that we're different is we are a food and franchise agency. So not 100% of our clients, but the majority of our clients are either restaurant groups or franchisors or franchisees.
Brilliant, Elyse. And drawing from your extensive experience with big brands like Comcast, the Walt Disney, and NBC, could you shed light on the most critical factors that contribute to successfully integrating marketing strategies across various platforms and media?
How does it relate to those companies?
Yeah, in terms of how your experience of working with all these big brands has helped you form those marketing strategies with your agencies for your clients across various platforms and media.
Yeah, so I had different roles at each of the companies. So when I worked at New Balance Athletic Show, it was in the consumer insights department. So that was really research heavy and learning the importance of that piece of it. When I worked at Comcast, it was direct marketing heavy. So we worked with a really strong email marketing agency and we did direct mail. And so that's definitely influenced a lot of our strategies now because we take what I've learned back then. Obviously, you have to stay up to date with everything because things change, but
Right.
it's the foundation for a lot of what we do for our clients.
Great. And like you mentioned, and also when we were speaking before we went live, you are quite heavy on the food and franchisee marketing, right? So, what do you feel are the challenges and opportunities specific to promoting food related franchises in this digital age? How competitive is it? What are those challenges that the new players out there kind of face while getting into this space?
Yeah, so I think there's challenges depending on where the franchise is at. When we're working with emerging franchise brands, it's just getting people to understand who is the brand, what do they offer, why should they almost take a risk right at the beginning? Because if there aren't a lot of franchisees, what makes this a good idea to invest in? So there's different challenges there versus brands that have been around for a long time that are established that may be a little bit more expensive, but it's a little bit less of a risk. From a digital marketing perspective, you really have to handle both differently. From the emerging brands, it's really, like I said, telling the story of who are the people behind the brand and why did they do it and how is it going to make your life better. And then for the brands that are more established, the digital marketing is more along the lines of why should you do this brand versus another established brand.
Absolutely. And in this franchisee model, I would like to imagine driving sales is as crucial as keeping the brand's integrity intact. So, could you provide a more detailed overview of the strategies and tactics you have found most effective, not only attracting customers, but also converting leads into loyal patrons for these businesses?
Yeah. It depends on where you're at in the funnel. So we do social media advertising for the franchise brands. And sometimes it makes sense to do it on Meta, but a lot of times LinkedIn is a good place because you can target specifically people who are already interested in franchise or who have some sort of entrepreneurial tag or something else that you can figure out why it would make sense to target them. So we do a lot of LinkedIn targeted advertising for franchise. We also do a lot of Google PPC. So when people are looking for a franchise, there's a lot of common keywords that they look for: best franchise, best food franchise. We do competitor PPC as well, so that if there's a brand that's in, let's just say, the pizza industry and you type in one of their competitors, you want to show up so they consider you in their consideration set as well. Maybe they had a friend who recommended this particular pizza brand, but when they see what you offer, they then reach out and become a lead for you.
Then in today's date, the concept of omni-channel marketing has gained so much of prominence, right? So for franchisee brands, Celeste, how do you strategically implement omnichannel strategies to ensure a seamless customer journey across various touch points, from online interactions to in-person experiences, ultimately with the end goal being driving sales and enhancing loyalty.
Yeah. There's definitely a CRM involved and trigger emails that are involved so that if someone does reach out, there's an acknowledgement. Franchise
Yeah.
is a little bit different because when you're selling a franchise, there's certain steps that you have to go through with like the FDD and things like that. It's a considered purchase because it's so expensive too. So there's different channels built in to stay in front of the prospective person. We even use email marketing to a certain degree, not just triggers, but general email marketing, because sometimes someone will become a lead and then they go away for one reason or another. And if you stay in front of them by saying, hey, we have this great new location open, it might be the right time for them now. And they might be really interested in that location. And then they become back a lead back in the funnel.
Right. And in talking about social media, so with the rise of social media and user generated content, consumer influence has become a major factor in brand perception, right? So, how do you feel franchisee brands harness the power of, or can harness the power of user generated content and online reviews to boost brand awareness and make the customers more feel connected?
Okay, so we're shifting to franchisee now, right? We were talking
Yeah.
about franchisor, now we're talking about franchisee. Okay. Yeah, for food especially, there's great ways that you can use user-generated content because humans, for some reason or another, really like taking pictures of their food and talking about how delicious their meal is. So that's just social proof that then you can, with permission, reuse and get people to understand that it's not just the brand saying it, it's the people who are eating there who are genuinely saying this. And so it helps a little
Right.
bit with truth in marketing so that it's not just the brand touting their own offerings. It's actual other people who are and the other thing with that too is there's food influencers and they don't have to be like ginormous influencers, but
Yeah.
getting an influencer in your particular area out talking about a new dish or a new opening, that's really been effective as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can vouch for that because one of our clients took this route of influencer model and they were quite convinced it's going to work and obviously had the budget to do it as well. And it worked wonders for them. So I can vouch for that actually. And then at least the competition for attention in this digital space is actually very fierce. You and me know that because we have been working with brands who are in competitive space for ages now. What do you think? How do you elaborate on the creative and advanced lead generation techniques? Because that is what we spoke about, right? That you employ to make franchisee brands stand out. And whether it's through interactive content, gamification, or any other innovative approaches that Elysium Marketing Group uses, maybe.
Yeah, so I think it's just testing and learning, right? So it's trying to figure out, okay, if we use like what message really resonates with people, what's the message that would stand out. We do use a lot of movement in our creative because we found that works really well. Everybody knows video works really well. So if we can get a really good video that can have good legs and people relate to. I think with social being just so much right now, I think the biggest thing is you want to stand out in some way, whether it's really educational piece that people are like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Now I know that." Or something that's funny where people want to share it with other people. So it's just trying to figure out what makes sense for their particular brand, and then getting it out there. And then I always say too, even though it's been used for years and years and it's nothing new, testimonials are humongous. We were just talking about user generated content, but if you get a really good Google review or Yelp review or whatever else that
Yeah.
really is something that people can tell is authentic, that is going to work really well as well because like mentioned earlier, it's you're marketing it out there, but it's not you saying it, it's other people saying it about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Reviews play such an important role in this particular industry. Someone else talking about how they had a good experience of being at your place and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So that works wonders actually in a lot of industries today because of the presence of social media. Your or previous customers' experiences talk a lot about who you are and how you deal with your customers, what are your offerings, be it product or service for that matter.
Yeah.
And at least we are all in this. I cannot let you go without asking this one about obviously AI. It has taken our industry by storm. We have settled in now, but yeah, exciting times ahead. we cannot really be ever sure where are we headed, right? So just wanted to understand with the integration of technology such as AI, data analytics, machine learning that has transformed our marketing landscape. What is your take on it? How do you guys use it at Elysium Marketing Group? And what are the advanced tools you would suggest budding marketers, digital marketers to keep an eye for if they want to make their career in digital marketing?
The first thing I always say when we talk about AI is that garbage in, garbage out. So if you're going to feed whatever AI you're working with something that's terrible, you're going to get something terrible out. So that's the first thing that I tell my team when we're talking about it. I personally use it for refining. I'm a very much like a ideas person, but I don't really always have the patience to sit down and refine either a blog or a white paper or whatever else. So for me, I lots of times do just a big brain dump into AI of here's everything. And I don't stop typing. It's just like a here's everything that I want to go in here. And then usually you get something back that's pretty darn good, but then you still have to go in and figure out, okay, this is not at all what I was saying. No, take that piece out. Or, yeah, this says it better than I was thinking about it. Or, this is different. This is not what I mean. But it is a time saver for sure. Initially, I was skeptical and thinking there's no way you can do it better. But I don't think it's a better. I think it's just another tool to work a little bit faster. It helps with efficiency for sure. But like I said, it's not a let it do its thing and then just leave it alone. Initially, I was against it, but now I'm really finding it just helps me be more efficient and say things sometimes in a little bit more refined manner. Um, we haven't really, and I know there's a lot of AI tools in the creative space. We haven't done a ton with that just because we have such strong designers that, but possibly we can look into that to make them more efficient as well. But for now, they're really good. And so hasn't been a need. The last thing I'll say is that it's absolutely scary. As wonderful as it can be, it's petrifying. And so I half am leaning in with this is amazing. And I half am like, oh my God, where is this going?
No, I'm with you on that one. It is not really a final deliverable product, right? Yes, it still has to be human edited if you talk about content.
For sure.
And so it has its limitation across other disciplines as well. So yeah, it's a work in progress is how we look at it. But yeah,
Yeah.
certainly if you use it to the optimum, it definitely increases your efficiency, saves time. Yeah. So no harm that ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Alice, it has been a wonderful conversation. But before I let you go, I would like to play a quick rapid fire with you. I hope you're game
Oh,
with one.
okay. Here we
Yeah.
go.
All right. Let's start with an easy one. Yeah. Your last Google search.
That's a good one. I think it was my daughter's dance school because I'm trying to figure out when this session ends.
Okay. Great. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. What did you do with your first paycheck, Elise?
First paycheck ever?
Ever? Yeah. Yeah.
Knowing me, I probably put it in the bank.
All right. No wonder you are an entrepreneur now. You save lot, right? Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. So, Elise, if we were to make a movie on you, all right, what genre would it be?
A business documentary
Oh, okay. All right. Where do we find you on Friday evenings?
with my children and my husband going out to dinner.
Oh, I should have asked Thursday evening because for all we know, you guys work from home on Friday. So on Thursday evenings, let me rephrase my question.
Thursday evenings, I'm playing tennis with my tennis group, and I'm definitely getting in some crazy matches with my tennis group.
All right. Wonderful. Great, yeah, Alice. I will not grill you any further. Thank you so much for doing this. Yeah. I'm
Thank you
sure,
for having me.
absolutely. I'm sure our audience would have benefited a lot out of this conversation today. And yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.